Hi everyone, it's Todd Brown with Next Action Associates. It's the last day of August. The sun's out in London, doesn't happen every day, so we're happy about that. Uh, it's Next week is going to kick off the autumn for a lot of people. Summer holidays are coming to an end, and it occurred to me that it might be helpful today to talk about a way that you can think about your own organizational system and to make sure that it's serving you in the best possible way. And the phrase that came to me is a phrase that David Allen has been using for years. Years ago, David used to run a seminar series called The Roadmap. And in The Roadmap, he talked about this idea of orienting views. What he meant by that was that orienting views are external things that we use to help us get oriented, to help us to get focused in the right direction, to make sure that if you were traveling the right road. And he used to give this great example in the seminar of a map or a series of maps. One map would be a map of the country. This was in the United States. And it said, if I'm planning a cross-country trip from New York to California, that map is helpful. And then each of the subsequent maps were of were showing a smaller area. And then the final map was a map of a particular set of, city streets in Los Angeles, let's say. And he said, this map is helpful if I've parked the car and I'm, trying to find the hotel, let's say. So the point that he was making was that we use different orienting maps at different times, depending on what our goals are, depending on what we're trying to achieve and what we want to be reminded about. And I was thinking about this the other day because I was thinking that the orienting maps that we choose to look at are really important, right? Most people look at their calendar every day in the morning. No surprise, and that's an example of an orienting map. It's an external set of reminders which allows you to be clear what are the things that I'm committed to do today. So that's an example. But beyond that, it occurred to me that an awful lot of us, I think, are missing a trick in two ways. Number one, we don't have a set of orienting maps which is set up to support us in whatever situation we find ourselves. So, for example, if you're getting ready for a meeting with the boss, what's the ideal orienting map? Well, it's a list of topics that you want to discuss with the boss. That's something we'd call an agenda list in GTD. If you find yourself out and about, walking around, and you're thinking to yourself, I have this sense that I've got a bit of time on my hands. What phone calls could I make? It's in that moment that it would be great to have something like what we call a calls list in GTD. So one of the questions, I suppose, as you think about optimizing your system in anticipation of the autumn, is do you have the right orienting maps? When you find yourself in different situations, can you get in front of you quickly and seamlessly, or in a friction-free way, a set of helpful reminders? And if not, you might want to think about modifying your system, maybe adding a new orienting map that would help you. And the other thing that occurred to me was that an awful lot of us use an orienting map really, really regularly, which is not terribly efficient or effective, and can get in the way of us making good decisions about where to focus. So, so the orienting map I'm talking about is your email inbox, let's say, right? So let's talk about a place where an awful lot of information is coming at you. Your email inbox is an undifferentiated collection of things, right? It's going to be certain things that are actionable and you need to do something about them. Other things are more kind of reference material. Other things are probably trash and can be safely deleted. So as an orienting map, it's raw material. That's the way I'd think about it. It's unrefined. And in some ways, as I was thinking about it, it's sort of like saying, I'm going to spend, over-focusing on my email inbox is kind of analogous to spending an awful lot of my life with a map which shows nothing more than the city block that I'm on. I don't have any bigger perspective. I don't have any sort of indication of where else I might want to go. It really just sort of shows me a very detailed view of the world, again, as I said before, completely undifferentiated. So it's not even clear of the things that are in my inbox, what do those mean for me? So that's just maybe a way of saying, look, let's be sure that in the in the hurly burly of your day, that you're getting a chance not just to deal with the emails, which of course they need our attention and we need to be responsive and all of that, but keep in mind that you can shut your email inbox down. That is possible, and it's not a bad idea from time to time to think about the bigger picture, to look at orienting maps which are reminding you of the bigger outcomes that are important to you in your life. If you've got in GTD terms, if you've got a projects list, if you've got a list of bigger things, let's make sure that's getting enough attention. Maybe once a week as part of your weekly review, let's make sure you're looking through your projects list. And from time to time that you're reconnecting with those bigger commitments, those things that you're looking to try to achieve in, let's call it a 3 to 5 year time frame. Make sure that those are getting some attention as well, so that you don't end up being sort of whipsawed by the contents of your inbox, and that then meaning that you're over focusing on an orienting map, which is again important to deal with in appropriate ways, but as the sole orienting map, or as a minimal set of orienting maps that you're looking at, probably really not helpful. Thanks for being with me today. Hope you enjoyed this and you found it helpful. And as always, if there's anything else you think that I or anyone else at Next Action Associates can do to be of help to you, please do let us know. You can find us on the website at www.next-action.eu. I look forward to speaking to you next time.